miserable manners for the Jeep Gladiator in heavy storms. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. So how is the Jeep Gladiator in heavy storms? You know, in case you never noticed, I don't know, maybe you just weren't paying attention. The Jeep Gladiator, or any Jeep for that matter, is basically a big giant wall, a big giant block on wheels. It's not aerodynamic. It doesn't have nice curved fenders and a sloping roof line so that it can just cut right through the air. It's not like that at all. Instead, it likes to fight the air. And it's definitely obvious when you're in a heavy storm. You know, a while back, it's been quite a while now, we took the Jeep Gladiator on a long distance trip. And of course, if you're out on the road long enough, you're gonna run into some kind of weather. It's inevitable. And it happened to us. We were driving near Colorado, and there were storms all over the place. You could see them in the distance because, of course, in the area we were in, it was like a valley. You had the mountains off that way and then the valley, you know, where the mountains came, pushed through, all that stuff. So you could see for miles and miles. We even saw a tornado off in the distance, a thin ribbon type tornado, but hey, tornado's a tornado, right? So we're driving and it's getting darker outside. We're watching the radar because I'm like that, and you can see it coming, and sure enough, it did. It starts pouring down rain like you wouldn't believe. I mean, so bad that it's one of those storms where some people are pulling over. Others like me, I speed up because you see, I've always been under the mindset that you can get away from the storm quicker if you go faster, or cut through it if you go faster. So I'm kind of the opposite as everybody else, right? When it's storming outside, I'm probably going 10, 20 mile an hour over the speed limit or over what I was going before, just trying to get out of it. Because I'll tell you a secret, I hate storms. So anyway, we're cruising through this. It's raining like mad. The wind is kicked up, of course. It's a thunderstorm. It's windy, right? And man, the Jeep, it just wants to dance all over the road. You know, every once in a while, after we'd go through a curve or something, we'd have a tailwind, the wind behind us. I was probably getting 50 miles a gallon. It was heavy wind. But inevitably, you have to turn, and now it's buffeting the side of the Jeep. And one thing I want to note, and it may be kind of shocking if you've never experienced it before, and you have either the Sunrider soft top like I do, or just the regular soft top, and that is when the pressure changes inside, when the wind is really kicking and hits the Jeep, it kind of slams that top up and down. And that's what was happening to me. The top was actually hitting the braces up here or something. I don't even know. They kind of sit flush with it, so I don't even know how that works. But it was slamming down and hitting the braces, and you'd get like this, I don't know, it was kind of like a real bass kind of thump sound to it, right? It would go whoop, and you could just feel the pressure inside. It was a very strange feeling, and the only other times that I get that is when a semi goes by. If I'm on the freeway and a semi passes on the other side, I get that same thing. I get a kind of a thump down on the top of the Jeep. It's like somebody smacked it and it was drawn taut. Very strange feeling. So I'm getting that, or we were getting that while we're driving, blowing like mad. The Jeep is wanting to dance all over the road. And you have to pay attention because when you get a gust of wind, and you know, thunderstorms aren't constant wind for the most part, you'll get gusts. It will blow the truck. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I'm not saying that it's going to send you shooting off the road, but it does blow it around a bit, and it will rock a little bit on the suspension too. So it's kind of a double whammy. You get blown because the whole thing wants to go, and then it will rock a little bit on its suspension. You know, it kind of reminds me way back in the day when I first started driving. I was sitting at a stoplight in a pickup truck. This was a full-size truck, not a Jeep Gladiator size, obviously, way back in the day. And there was a tailwind. It was the weirdest thing. I was getting caught, or the wind was getting caught underneath the bed of the truck, and it was actually popping it up a little bit. It felt like I was doing this. I had the sensation that the rear end of my truck was kind of lifting up off the road. It was the weirdest thing. Now, I am happy to say that while we were in these storms, I didn't have any of those kind of feelings. Of course, we were moving. I wasn't sitting still. But imagine how harrowing, that's harrowing, it would be if you were driving down the road and it felt like the rear end of your truck was lifting up. You ever experienced that in any truck or your Jeep Gladiator when you've got a strong tailwind blowing at you and you kind of feel the rear end kind of lifting up on the suspension a little bit? It's a very strange thing. So I think you just need to be aware that, you know, the Gladiator, it is a wall. It is a big block on wheels. And when you get in storms and stuff, it's not going to be the most pleasant thing in the world. It'll wake you up. So if you're on a long distance trip and you're getting a bit drowsy and you get somewhere near a thunderstorm and there's a lot of wind, it's going to wake you up a bit. One other thing I want to mention, and this is specific to the Freedom top, or those plastic, composite, whatever they are, panels that are on the roof. That, when it's pouring down rain, and God forbid you should get hail, I mean, it sounds like a ton of ball bearings dropping on the roof, depending on how heavy the rain is and how big those raindrops are. I've never been out in a hailstorm in the Jeep Gladiator, but I can only imagine what that would sound like inside the truck. You know, I've mentioned I have the Sunrider soft top, so big raindrops on that, like in those thunderstorms, was more of a thud, if you will. A lot of thuds all at the same time, not the little kind of pinpricky kind of things you get like ball bearings were falling. So definitely a different sensation, but we did get to experience both, because from where the Sunrider top ends right there on back is that plastic or composite stop. So either way, you kind of get to experience both. If you have a full soft top, all you'll get is a lot of thud and a lot of flapping around of that soft top. And if they're anything like they used to be, I know my wife's is like this in her Jeep Wrangler. Those soft tops, when you get wind from the side, they blow and they'll smack the roll bars. So you get a constant, that's not what it sounds like, but you know, a constant smack of that soft top hitting the roll bars. Lots of noise in the Jeep Gladiator. You can expect it. It's not going to be quiet. It's not going to ride around like you're in a Cadillac or something, but it's a better connection to the environment. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Have you noticed that? Have you ever been surprised, or were you surprised when you first got the Gladiator, were out there, or a Wrangler for that matter, but we're out driving around, got involved in a thunderstorm, and really were amazed at how much buffeting the wind takes, or how much buffeting the Jeep takes from the wind? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you're interested, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive FST, all about my 2021 Toyota Tundra. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.